Exactly 1 year ago today, the regular local bus service run by a local family business to Winchcombe and its surrounding villages from Cheltenham was replaced by a more infrequent, more expensive and frankly less welcoming service run by the transnational corporation Stagecoach. Unfortunately, this is a story reminiscent of so many others across the UK, not just in the coach and bus industry, but across all industries, where large, powerful corporations wash out the chances of long-standing local businesses from continuing to serve their local community. Unfortunately, memories of these local industries and businesses are slowly fading away, and lots of people have likely lost the impression that they once had that a Stagecoach bus was a cold blue imposter and see it as the norm, which of course it now is. Today we're going to take a look back to the final week of service in 2019, before the final one of those bright red buses picked up its last ever passenger. We asked how people felt about losing the current local provider and the inflated new pricing and decrease in bus regularity when these services were to change. What are your opinions on the current service that Marchants offer?
Pretty good, yeah. Happy with it, yeah.
It's regular. It seems to sort of go for the right times that they need it.
So I used to live in London, and you get on the bus and you could be an old person and that bus has zoomed off before they've even sat down. The Marchant guys females will always wait until people have sat down, and I like that.
It's a real lifeline for people doing, elderly people going and doing their shopping, etc.
It's going to cost a lot more now. It's going to be £6 for a return.
Really?
To
That's
Cheltenham.
wicked.
Yeah.
I think that was going to put a lot of people off actually, and I think particularly in a time when we're looking to be greener and more environmentally friendly. Sometimes I might go in at the weekend on the bus. I don't go in very often at the weekend on the bus, but actually if I knew it was £6, I would actually, I'd probably just drive in.
Certain areas I feel Stagecoach don't really make the effort because it's not mainstream.
It's a shame because they have been in this area for a long time.
And they don't go past the doctor's surgery in Winchcombe, which is going to cause lots of hardship to elderly people in the town centre who can no longer use the bus to get to the doctor's surgery.
It's not good. You want to have the same service that you've got now rather than it goes. We're supposed to progress in this day and age rather than lose.
It makes it harder for people to move around, obviously, which is going to be a problem.
I think there's a lot of dissatisfaction with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Locally, you know.
Okay. Unsurprisingly, the new Stagecoach service was met with a rather cold reception, and in response the company gave all local residents a handful of weekly ticket vouchers to use in the first month of service to generate interest, playing on their one strength, which was connectivity and compatibility of tickets with almost all other services in the region. And they also contain these. They're little tokens worth a Mega Rider Gold, which is Stagecoach's large, wide zone ticket. I'm going to exchange it on the bus now.
Earlier one you can
That's your body, you have to take the box. You're going to bombard you with emails.
Do I have to take the box?
Put the box there.
It doesn't say I need to take the box.
No, but if you don't tick it, we can't bombard you with emails.
Well, I don't want the email.
Well, you don't want a free ticket then, that's fair enough.
After only a small fight with the driver, I managed to get him to accept my voucher. However, there was something else that the new buses lacked. Community. Nobody knew the drivers. The first driver I encountered was rude and unwelcoming. When Marchants ran the route, it was almost a highlight of the day. But since Stagecoach took over, it's just become a bus. Of course, there is a wider perspective to consider. A more globally connected world is good. We should be connecting and collaborating with each other. Stagecoach opened up more opportunities for wider travel from Winchcombe on the same ticket, which despite reduced bus times will have saved money for lots of people with onward journeys on more Stagecoach buses. The truth of the matter in this case is that public transport is grossly underfunded, and government and local councils aren't developing and improving the right things to combat massive global issues like climate change. More investment in public transport and cycle and pedestrian infrastructure will undoubtedly get more people out of cars and reduce the UK's CO2 emissions. It's depressing to visit the rest of Europe and see the beautifully crafted infrastructure, people out cycling everywhere, and a regular and punctual public transport network. The UK should be embarrassed that it's falling behind so badly, especially after severing ties with the European Union, which funded a lot of modern infrastructure in the rest of Europe. Of course, the UK is a small, crowded island, so, granted, it's going to be more difficult to develop at the same speed as its European neighbours. But that shouldn't be an excuse. That should be an incentive to develop even faster. Thankfully, Marchants are still going strong. Despite the losses during the pandemic since last year, the company continues to run coach excursions of their own and hire out coaches privately across the local area. Stagecoach continues to operate the W route, albeit on a reduced timetable since the pandemic. I would imagine most Winchcombe residents rarely think about the cheery red buses that once served the town, and I suppose that's okay, as long as the memory is still there.